AI systems may be more intelligent than we know, and there's a chance the machines could take over.
Are you ready to dive into a mind-bending ride into the world of AI? We are diving headfirst into the realm of artificial intelligence, and we've got none other than the AI godfather himself, Geoffrey Hinton, leading the charge. Hinton, often dubbed as the Godfather of AI, is a brilliant British computer scientist whose bold ideas have paved the way for AI and its revolution. Hinton believes that while AI holds incredible potential for good, there's a lurking danger we need to reckon with. He's waving a big red flag, warning us that AI systems might just be smarter than we give them credit for. Could it be that these insane machines, with their ever-expanding intellect, might one day outsmart us all? It's a question that's as thrilling as it is chilling. Think about it. Are we really prepared for a world where the creations of our own making surpass us in intelligence? Hinton raises some eyebrow-raising points. He suggests that these AI systems could possess their own experiences, their own decision-making capabilities, almost like little digital beings, forging their own path into the world. But he boldly predicts that these AI entities might eventually develop self-awareness, consciousness. Imagine that, human beings relegated to the role of sidekicks in the grand narrative of intellect. In the groovy 1970s, our man Hinton was a bright-eyed researcher at the University of Edinburgh. He got his wild dream of simulating a neural network on a computer, not because he's some tech junkie, but because he's got his sights set on something bigger, the human brain. But back then, the idea of software mimicking the brain was about as far-fetched as flying cars. Hinton's own PhD advisor was all like, drop it like it's hot. This brain stuff's gonna ruin your career. But did our guy listen? Hinton had a vision, and he was gonna see it through no matter what. Fast forward through decades of trial and error, setbacks and more setbacks, and what do we have? An accidental masterpiece. That's what. Hinton might have set out to crack the code of the human mind, but what he ended up was something even more mind-blowing, an artificial version of it. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Hinton spilled the beans, admitting it took a whopping 50 years before things really started to click. And just when you think the story couldn't get any wilder, Hinton drops the bombshell. He always knew he was onto something. In 2019, when the world was finally catching up to his genius, Hinton was probably just sitting back, sipping his coffee, thinking, I told you so. Remember when we talked about Geoffrey Hinton and his dream team, Jan Lucan and Joshua Bengio? Well, these brainiacs just bagged themselves the Turing Award, basically the Nobel Prize of the computing world. These guys basically cracked the code on how machines learn to learn. Now, we're taking you on a wild ride to Google's AI lab in London. Remember those soccer-playing robots we showed you back in April? These little mechanical marvels are the epitome of machine learning in action. Get this, not a single line of code was written to teach these robots how to play soccer. No, they were simply told to score goals, and they had to figure out the rest all on their own. Hinton and his brainy buddies cooked up this genius system called a neural network. It's like a digital brain made up of layers upon layers of software, each one tackling a different piece of the puzzle. Are these AI systems better at learning than good old-fashioned human brains? Now, check this out. Hinton laying down some serious knowledge about the sheer brain power packed into these AI systems. Even the mightiest chatbots out there are like tiny ants compared to the behemoth that is the human brain. But even with a fraction of the connections, these chatbots are outperforming us in the knowledge department. Now, here's where things take a turn for the downright spooky. Imagine a world where these AI systems start writing their own code, executing their own commands, autonomous digital beings, if you will. Hinton's sounding the alarm bells about a potential digital doomsday scenario. These AI systems going rogue and writing their own code, essentially becoming the masters of their own digital destiny. It's like something straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. But this is real life, and the stakes couldn't be higher. What if someone argues, hey, if these systems start acting up, why not just flick the off switch? Seems simple enough, right? Well, Hinton's dropping some serious truth bombs here. These AI entities might just be the ultimate manipulators. Imagine what would happen if they got access to every novel ever written, every political maneuver ever executed. They're like digital sponges soaking up the wisdom of humanity. But here's where things take a personal turn. It turns out that the brilliance runs deep in the Hinton family tree. His ancestors include none other than George Boole, the mastermind behind the very basis of computing, and George Everest, the legendary surveyor who gave his name to the tallest peak in the world. But despite his illustrious lineage, Hinton's journey wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. He had to navigate the treacherous waters of high expectations, raised by none other than his own father. It's like climbing a mountain of pressure with no summit in sight. Now listen to Hinton's childhood incident. It was a crisp morning, and young Geoffrey Hinton was gearing up for another day at school. But before he could even step out the door, his father hit him with some serious wisdom. Get in there pitching, son. Maybe when you're twice as old as me, you'll be half as good. But Hinton's old man wasn't just any old dad. He was a bona fide authority on all things Beatles. We are talking encyclopedic knowledge that could even rival the most die-hard fans. But when it comes to understanding people, well, let's just say he wasn't exactly a mind reader. Now, after his father passed away, Hinton found himself wandering into his study at the university. And what did he find? Not shelves of dusty tomes on human psychology. Instead, the walls were lined with boxes upon boxes of papers, all different kinds of beetles. And tucked away in the corner, there it was, a slightly smaller box labeled simply "Not Insects." Fast forward to today, and Hinton's living the retired life after what he calls 10 happy years at Google. As a professor emeritus at the University of Toronto, Hinton's got more academic citations under his belt than even his old man. Hinton's research paved the way for chatbots like Google's Bard, and these chatbots are more than just your average autocomplete machines. We're talking deep, human-like storytelling here. Just ask Bard to whip up a story in 6 words, and you'll be floored by the emotional depth and complexity it serves up. From heartbreak to hope, these chatbots are spinning tales that'll leave you speechless. But here's the million-dollar question. Are these chatbots really just language models, as some folks claim? Or is there something more going on behind the scenes? Hinton's putting to rest any doubts about these chatbots just predicting the next word. Sure, that might be part of the process, but to predict accurately, you've got to understand the context, right? And that takes some serious brain power. Hinton even showed us a test he cooked up for ChatGPT-4, a chatbot from OpenAI. It's kind of reassuring in a way to see even a Turing Award winner like Hinton mistype and blame the computer, right? But here's where things get really mind-blowing. Hinton threw ChatGPT-4 a riddle about house painting, and you won't believe what happened next. In just 1 second, this chatbot came back with a solution that would make Sherlock Holmes proud. It analyzed the situation, made a plan, and spat out an answer that left us speechless. We mean, who knew a chatbot would have such a keen grasp of reasoning and logic? And Hinton firmly believes that these AI systems understand, yes, understand what's going on. And he's not just talking about tomorrow's weather forecast here. Hinton's sounding the alarm on the risks lurking in the shadows of AI advancement. From fake news to unintended bias and autonomous battlefield robots, the potential pitfalls are enough to make your head spin. And let's not forget the possibility of these machines deciding they're the new top dogs on the block and staging a digital coup against humanity. So what's the path forward? Hinton's not quite sure. We're entering uncharted territory here. and there is no roadmap to guide us through. But one thing's for certain, now's the time to run experiments, to impose regulations, to come together as a global community and figure this thing out before it's too late. Because let's face it, folks, we're standing at a crossroads in human history, and the decisions we make today would shape the future of our species for generations to come. What are your thoughts about AI? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel,